Happy anniversary to Kim and Kanye. 5 years, it's been 5 years. Good for them. Remember when I didn't think they'd last, I think it was 19 days, or Eat the Crow, and I ate the crow? 5 years. It seems like just yesterday. Then again, it started to slow down somewhere about last year, and now it seems like they've been married forever, doesn't it? Yes. Well, good for you. Now, the 5-year anniversary gift, if you want to give them something, is wood. You'd probably be better getting it, Kim would be better getting it from you, because she's probably not going to get it from Kanye. I just can't picture it. I'm sorry, I still can't picture. Anyway, sure he'll get something much better. Diamonds or something like that. Anyway, speaking of the family, so Kourtney's on the cover of Paper magazine, and it's their latest digital edition. And she says, amongst other things in the article, that she wishes that the show would just get canceled. Wow, what a cool dress, a blue dress, right? That's cool. It looks hard. Anyway, you would think that she wouldn't bite the hand that feeds her, but I also think that she's not one of these girls anymore who cares about the fame, but I'm sure she wants to keep the money. She seems like, it could be a stupid thing on her counter. It's probably cost a fortune. You know, she outfits the kids in the best clothes, and we've talked about this. I have no problem with her doing it. She's spending her money. Well, still, she's a charitable person and everything. And listen, I don't think Kourtney needs the show. I think that Kourtney can go on with her life, and I know she's got this new website, this new thing. It's called Posh or something like that. Poosh, it's called Poosh. It's her website where she promotes all things that she likes. Well, if she likes things expensive, then chances are it's probably kind of like Gwyneth Paltrow's. Weird stuff that you normally wouldn't try, that's real expensive. You know what I mean? But because you like Kourtney, maybe you'd buy the stuff. Maybe she could survive without the show. Quite frankly, I think that her website and anything that she wants to do, the children's clothes and whatever else, she needs the show to promote her product. So she's not yet big enough where she doesn't have to have the show. I mean, I think probably the only one who's big enough for that at this point would be Kim. You know, Kim doesn't need the show, and you would still follow her, and you would still trust in her if she says that this lip gloss is good or whatnot. And that's not a bad thing. I'm just simply saying Kim is the only one that I see who doesn't need the show. Even Kendall's not the most beautiful girl in the world. She's it's not shade, it's fact. I mean, a model is just a random girl who they put a bunch of makeup on and they make her look like a superstar. If you're not friends with models, then maybe you don't know this. I know models like in real life, and you pass them in the mall. And then they do that thing with the makeup and the airbrushing and stuff, and they look beautiful. Even models will tell you, I'm just a girl, fortunate enough to, be on the cover. But, and this show, and Kendall is, let's face it, Kendall jumped to the top of the model chain because she's a Kardashian Jenner. She's not a bad-looking girl, but she also is not a special-looking girl, There's some models out there, they have that special look where automatically you say, oh, I get it. I totally see it. Like Cara Delevingne with the eyebrows. She's pretty. I don't even know if she models anymore. Maybe she quit modeling, then she started acting. I don't know whether acting worked out and she's back to modeling. But I think somebody like Cara Delevingne with a unique look, or that model from back in the day. Remember the black girl with all the freckles? Like that. She had a look. And anyway. But, so good for you. Look, I forgot you already. Kourtney. Good for you, Kourtney, for being honest with it. But, even when you're on the show, you don't act like you're into the show. It's more like, you're into your family, and that's a good thing. But with that being said, then why don't you just quit the show? I don't think anyone will miss you. Did you see the episode where Kim walked in the room and told Kourtney about herself? There's nothing special about you. You need to. Did you see that episode? I wasn't the only one watching. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, at first I was mad at Kim, like, all right, but why are you talking to her like that with the cameras rolling? That's mean. But Kourtney took it. Kourtney's pretty, but Kourtney is not special. And Kourtney's storyline is Kourtney and Scott, or Kourtney and the kids, or Kourtney sleeping in Khloe's bed. Like, like the wildfires happen and everybody flees fast from the wildfires in LA. And so Kourtney ran to Kendall's house, Kendall, the model, ran to Kendall's house with the kids. And so Kendall was saying in a recent episode, you know, after about a week, you know, for a whole week it was nice. And then, by the way, they all sleep in the bed. Kourtney, Kendall, and the kids. They all sleep in one bed. And then you know, she says, well, it was nice and fun and everything having them around for 1 week, but the fire has been over and her house, everybody's gone back home. Her house is ready to go back home. Why won't Kourtney leave? And I say, because Kourtney needs a storyline, and that's another boring storyline where she won't leave Kendall's house. So then just leave the show. Just leave. You know, Andrea Kelly is R. Kelly's ex-wife. And, well, Andrea and the kids have joined the cast of Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. You heard about this? You didn't hear about this? All right, well, all 3 kids are her children by R. Kelly. Yeah, wouldn't you think he'd have more kids based on lifestyle? Just being a rocker. It's kind of like how we were talking about Trey Songz the other day. I was shocked that this is his first child. Hi, Trigger. But so she has 3 kids by R. Kelly, and she and the 3 kids are on Growing Up Hip Hop. Why, you ask? I guess mom likes being on TV, and the kids listen to what their mom is saying. The kids are too young to have an opinion on their own, except for the one in college. And she just, look, Buku is 21, Jay is 19, and Robert is 17. So poor Robert. Robert Kelly, is Robert Kelly? Wait a minute now. You aren't the son of, hello? Anyway, take a look and then we'll talk.
I don't know what it's like to be R. Kelly's child. I only know what it's like to be his ex-wife.
It's gonna affect me forever.
As soon as I feel like, okay, I got a level of normalcy, some headlines.
R. Kelly has been arrested.
He cracked me, but he didn't break me.
So, I'm gonna explain this the best I possibly can. The show is going to, okay, the whole show is, of course, several people growing up hip hop, but the Kellys' storyline is dealing with child support battles and the fallout from the documentary that R. Kelly did with Gayle King. Well, I like Andrea joining the show, I'll tell you why. Because clearly Andrea likes being on TV. Because why would you get on TV and perpetuate this and perhaps the story, not perhaps, I feel that there are gonna be several reasons for the judge on this case to watch this show and stick the screws to R. Kelly even worse. You know, if it can get any worse. Well, he's not in jail yet, so I guess it's not at its worst. There's nothing about this that like this is the storyline in this show that I'd wanna walk away from because it's so sad. You know, I think a lot of people feel that R. Kelly is very guilty. And Andrea, I think a lot of people look at you being married to him for 13 years and look at you, Andrea, and we know each other, but you know, Andrea, it's not like you didn't know anything in my mind. You know? And you, when you married him, you were a full woman. She wasn't a teenager, you know? And she was an accomplished background dancer for R. Kelly, who probably learned about his personality and his needs and how to get in, you know, just by laying in the cut, being a background dancer. And then one day when everybody was late coming back from a break, but she's sitting there with Robert, that might have been when she put the moves on him. And then he realized, you know what? I do need a woman of a grown age in order to pull this caper off. What caper? I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, she needs this. I mean, if the allegations are true, is what I'm saying. If the allegations are true that he likes underage girls, then you need an older age wife to pull it off. And you get a couple of kids in there, and all of a sudden you think it looks all gravy, right, Robert? Andrea needs this to pay bills. I have no idea how she's paying bills. She was a background dancer prior, but she never, Andrea, nobody was interested in you even when you were married to him. And I guess that's a good thing. She stuck with her craft, which was dancing and, you know, raising the family. But now that the family is, now that you're not married to R. Kelly, you want us to be interested in you as a person. But nobody cares, because like you're not Lori Ann Gibson. Clap if you know who I'm talking about. Lori Ann Gibson, she's from Canada. She's an accomplished background dancer. She danced for Puffy. All she was a dancer from Canada. But Lori Ann managed to carve out Lori Ann Gibson away from Puff. And I for one, I have watched Lori Ann in reality shows that have nothing to do with Puff. It has to do with dancing in her messy life. It's a messy life. It's a messy life. But Andrea, it's too late for you now. At 45 years old, your man has been, ridden the riot act in the court of public opinion. The real court hasn't said anything yet. The 21-year-old, Robert is not paying her her college tuition. She's in school for music. She wants to be a singer. I don't know who's fueling this dream. I don't care how well she can sing. There's something about being R. Kelly's daughter that first you feel sorry for her because damn, little girl didn't ask for this. She and her father do not get along at all. Like, she's in college for musical arts. They say she has a really, really great voice. And being a Kelly, I'm sure she has really great connections. But do people with those kind of connections still want to be connected to, you're collateral damage for the things that your father's being accused of. If I were you, and I'm not a dream killer, but I'm a realist, I'd pick a plan B as a career. It's a shame. It's a shame. And this is a show, by the way, that I will be watching. I want to see how it all plays out. This is great for business for growing up hip hop to have this Kelly family on. But it's really bad for the R. Kelly family. I mean, this one down here, she's not in school. Robert's not paying the tuition. He doesn't have any money, according to documents. The other two boys, I mean, imagine the life of Robert Kelly Jr., and then the other boy. Who else is on the show? Waka Flocka.
Lil Bow
Bow Wow.
Wow.
You still call him Little?
Oh, you know what? That's a force of habit. Lil Bow Wow. It's just Bow Wow.
Bow. Norman, by the way, is your #1 fan, and I understand that you'll be visiting our show in a few weeks, and Norman is already fluttering with the hands.
Can't wait.
He loves him. He loves him. Anyway, and some other people are on the show, but it'd be interesting to watch Andrea and the kids make some money while the judge is watching, and we're all looking like, ew. Oh, Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. It premieres Thursday, June 13th at 9 o'clock on WeTV. There's this really cute football player from Baltimore, and he's got red hair, and he's only 25. He looks a little older than that, but charge it to the game. It's stressful out there. Anyway, he plays for the Baltimore Ravens, and he wants us to help track down a mystery woman. I'm in. People in our Hot Topics meeting were saying, why would he use a celebrity to do that? If he were a regular guy, he wouldn't be able to get away with it. Why would he? And I was like, what are you, a hater? I mean, if you're a celebrity and you can get access to people that you want to get with in another way other than, meeting them in the street or at work or at the club, why not? Actresses look at men's magazines all the time and they're like, oh, I like him. They call up their publicist. The publicist calls his publicist. Next thing you know, they're on a date. Next thing you know, we're talking about it on Hot Topics, fanning the flame. That's how it works. If you were a celebrity, wouldn't you use your couch to cast your life? So, he's 25 years old. His name is Hayden Hurst. And he tweeted, to the gorgeous tall brunette on my flight to Baltimore, you walk incredibly fast. I couldn't catch up to you, but here's hoping you have Twitter. Now see, I'm in. The Wendy Show is helping with this. Clap if you want to help. Clap if you think do you think it's corny? Clap if you think it's corny, and who cares? Yeah, right, so we're all in 100%. So here's the deal. He tried to catch up with her. He was taking his bags. This is after they say you can get off the plane and the bell rings, right? So he's up taking his bags down, and he looks over, down a few people, and he sees her. And he tries to get to her, but he's all big, and the plane's all, deplaning, and he couldn't catch up with her. And then one of his fans stopped him for an autograph. So he stopped to sign the autograph. Okay, he's kind. He works. He's handsome. All right, check, check, check. So he's signing the autograph and wanted to catch up with her, but he couldn't catch up with her and he was busy and he didn't want to, you know, just leave the fan hanging there. But he wants to know who you are. Like, are you single? Are you married? Are you available? Did you even see him? You know? Like, I would love to put, all right, it's cheesy, but let's jump in. What if we invite him here and all of a sudden we make her appear? That'd be cool. I like you, Hayden. And we'll see if we can make that happen. But if you can't find that girl, you're a football player. You know, you got girls falling at your feet, you'll get another. Bill Cosby, this is a good thing, I think, for once. He's a mentor in prison. Like 8 people clapped, everybody else is like, a mentor? You? Well, look, according to the people at the blast, Bill reportedly holds 15 mentoring sessions per month. Now, no, if you can separate the 63 women and the thigh gappers, put them over there, and think about how you remember Bill Cosby. Half the people watching, perhaps he raised you. You know, with the big deli sandwiches and his fatherly advice on the show and how he handled his family. I mean, you know, you gotta separate the man from the crime. I know it's tough, but this is what he does with these 15 mentoring meetings per month. He's preparing inmates into returning to society, teaching them, other than thigh gappers and 63 women, you know, drugging women to rape them, other than those allegations. I think that he could do this. You know, he's a civilized, he likes a nice sweater. You know, he opens the door, closes the door, how do you do? You know, it's Dr. Cosby, Heathcliff. He's encouraging these criminals to attend classes in prison so that once they're released, they will be able to be employed, doing something other than sweeping garbage in the street, like a real employment. I think that's a good thing. And I think that this is perfect for Bill Cosby in prison. You just sit there and do your time and stop trying to get out. Because remember, you're in for drugging women and raping them with the thigh gappers. But as long as he's there, why not? You know, he can teach them to be civilized. He's got an honorary doctorate. He knows what to do. Okay, I'll give you an Exhibit A. Don't be a judge on account of he's a murderer. And he's on the loose under the tutelage of Bill Cosby. His name is Raheem Shackelford. Well, honey, he spoke to Inside Edition. And he's one of the students from behind bars of Bill's. Just take a look.
Does he crack jokes?
All day long. All day long.
Really?
As soon as he comes out, as soon as he exits the cell, or off the unit, he's just Bill Cosby. He's nothing different. He's just a person, convicted, and he's serving his time. Nobody bothers him. Nobody threatens him.
Okay, I'll get the conversation started. They don't know what to say. First of all, I was mesmerized by his bottom fronts. They were so white and good, so maybe it's make sure that you brush your teeth. You know, a lot of times people neglect their oral hygiene when they're in prison. Maybe, I don't know, I've never been. But you know, you neglect things like you still say whiff when you get out. Maybe you can take some grammar lessons in prison. You laugh, but this is useful. You say with by the time you get out, because Dr. Cosby told you that that will get you the job. And not ask for a job, but ask for a job. So, Raheem is a reformed murderer, if there's such a thing. He was in for over 20 years. And along comes Dr. Cosby. At first, he was very standoffish. He said Dr. Cosby was in the private population, and then Cosby was like, put me in the general population. If this is where I'm gonna be, then take this off and give me the orange jumpsuit, and let me just get in here with the inmates and everything. And people like him, people revere him. In there, Raheem was also saying in this interview that they treat him like a king. And they really are digging, you know, taking his classes and stuff. On the other side, let me remind you who we're actually dealing with, okay? Don't get carried away with Raheem and his murderous talk. Bill Cosby's family hasn't visited him, and Raheem said that in the interview. I bet you Mr. Cosby didn't want you to say that, Raheem, looking for a camera on day one of getting out, you know, wanting to be on Hot Topics. There I go, there I go. Yeah, Camille hasn't been to see him. The kids haven't been to see him. So that's his life. Like, how do you have kids and they're not there to see you in prison? And you're 80-something years old. Now, he's in for 3 to 10 years, and he's still trying to appeal that so that he gets out like now. I'll tell you, perhaps being in prison is the best thing for him because Camille is gonna give him the business when he gets on. You know, she's not having it. She's not having it. Camille is probably living her best life in denial that she stood by all these years, but spending money and having a good time and glad he's out of the house. And the kids, Cosby, you can say what you want about your kids and your family, and you've given interviews saying that it's like all kumbaya. Well, Raheem says that no one visits you. Anyway, that's it for Hot Topics, everybody. We got more great show on the way. We're breaking down the hottest things in pop culture with our Hot 5 list. So grab a snack and come on back.